You good?
I don't know, mate. I can't see myself. Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you, man.
Oh, well, then, that's all that matters, isn't it?
Can you see me?
I
Can you
don't
see me?
mind, mate. As long... Yeah, I can see you. I can see you fine.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, good, man. So I just want to make sure it's Jono Carroll.
Yes, brother.
Juno. Okay. Okay, man. Well, I appreciate it. But first of all, man, to start it off, I want to let you know the name of the show is called Rebel Thoughts. Basically, I try to get different guests, or sometimes it's just me on here by myself. But I'm big into boxing. I love this. Is actually my favorite sport to watch. And I actually saw your fight against Tevin Farmer too. That's where I actually got the idea to want to interview you.
Very good. Yeah, it was a good scrap, Ari. Very good.
Yeah, it really was, man. It really was. But first of all, where'd you get your start at, man, in boxing? Like, what made you want to get into it?
Well, my granddad was a boxer at the start, and then my dad liked the sport, but he joined the sport too late. So that was the thing. He just joined too late, but he was a great trainer. And I started amateur boxing just with him, like just messing, playing on the bags and stuff like that. I had a street fighting skill, actually. That's how it happened. I had a little tussle with a traveller, and they all can box, you know. So basically, my dad just said, "Come on, you go to the gym with me." So he brought me to the gym, and from there on, I used to spar him, and he was always a big man. He was like 6'2", and I used to be always messing and playing with him. And then eventually, it got to we weren't messing and playing. All of a sudden, it was like I was getting better, and we started having nice little spars. And then it was like, eventually, he was like, "I'm not fucking sparring no more." I started becoming better, you know. So it was good.
Right.
I actually went
So
pro
what
in
weight did your dad
Australia.
box at?
My dad,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't even have any amateur bouts or anything like that. You know, when he just went to the gym and always just wanted to be able to take care of himself. My
Oh,
uncle boxed and stuff. You know, there was a few in the family boxed. My uncle boxed. My granddad was the one that had the real passion for the sport, and obviously just all of his kids was then taught how to box. But it was always as kids, and we were growing up in it, so we never. He never actually like got involved with that. Instead, he kind of turned to the streets and was too busy running around the streets, messing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
okay.
eventually, he got to that little bit older, and he was like 25, 26, and he regretted that decision. And he had me and stuff, and he just kind of installed into me all the mistakes, obviously, that he kind of made in his. Yeah, that's basically what happened. He just didn't want me going down the same route, going onto the streets, so he tried to install the boxing into me. But funny enough, I ended up going down them same routes anyway, and went onto the streets and was acting the bollocks as you usually do as a teenager. And
Right.
yeah, it was crazy. Eventually, I went to Australia. I was like, couldn't take the streets no more. I was like, this is bullshit. I feel I'm better than this. I need to get away from this. So I just booked a flight to Australia, and off we went. And then I was working over there, and I just got bored because I had no friends and I had no one to go back and play in the streets. So I literally just went to the boxing gym.
Right.
It's the only other thing that I knew. So I went to the
Right.
boxing gym, and here we are today. Well,
Right. Okay. Hey, so is that where you get your style from? Because you're a pressure fighter, and you constantly move forward. Is that where you get your style from? Because like you see certain fighters, they're in the ring, obviously, and you guys are fighting for a living. But it looks like certain guys are trying to avoid contact. It's almost like a case of don't hit me too hard, and I won't hit you too type of a deal. But you're a pressure fighter. You move forward. Where you get your style from, man?
I don't know. I was really feisty. I think it got off my mom, not even my dad's side. My mom was a very feisty woman. So I probably got it off her. I don't know. It's
Right.
a strange one, but I just got whatever it is. I don't fear really anything. You know what I mean? And I enjoy the fight game. I enjoy the sport.
Right.
I lost my mother at like 15. So for me, I don't know. That was like the boxing was like it was kind of getting away from reality. It was getting away from life almost. And that was my little zone that I was in, free for that fucking whatever hour, 2 hours that I was training, or even just them 3 or 4 rounds that I was sparring. Instead of thinking of all the stuff that's going on in the past and in the thinking shit, don't hit me in the face, trying to pop me and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
You got to be
yeah,
focused. Yeah, for sure.
you got to be focused in the ring, yeah, for sure. And I think that's why I never. I remember one time I was in a fight, and it was only a few months after my mum was at the passing, and this fella was like 2 weights heavier than me. He was like welterweight, and he was just much longer than me. As an amateur, obviously they're all tall and stuff. He was just pinging the head off me, and for whatever reason, I just was kind of like, I'm not giving in here. I'm not giving in. I just pressured him like crazy and just went for it. And I ended up winning that fight. It was his hometown. I ended up winning the fight on a decision. And yeah, I think I won the fight because I won the first round kind of. It was a good fight, but it was close. Second round, he beat me, and the third round, I just came out. And whatever it was, I remember sitting in the corner and just thinking, oh, my mom's probably looking over me right now. Make her proud. So I just went hard. I took him into like a doghouse, and I come out with the victory. So from there, whenever I'm tired or I feel a little bit like weak or whatever, I think of her, and she gives me that strength.
Right. Now, do you find that a lot you can break them with that pressure? Because a lot of times when you're boxing in that ring, I think one of the more intimidating things is to be hitting a guy and he's still moving, kind of like Ricky Hatton used to do back in the day. Ricky Hatton had this constant style of pressure. Regardless of what you hit him with, he's going to keep on keeping on. Do you find that a lot of guys simply just fold to that pressure and then they stop throwing as many punches back?
Yeah, like the boxing game it's so technical. Like you're a good boxer or a pressure fighter or whatever. I find as an amateur, I actually started off as a counter puncher, funny enough, and then as I kind of got along with pro career, I started like going to war sometimes. I was trying to learn the pro game more, so I started dragging myself into a bit of wars. And yeah, I don't know, I just found that kind of style suited me, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't live the life. I live the life, and when you do 12 rounds, there's nowhere to hide in that ring. If you're not living the life, it's sooner or later, you know? So for me, after like 6 or 7 rounds, you can tell the people who live the life and who don't, because people always say, oh, I have a great engine, I have this or that. But it's not going to do with that. I have a great heart, and I train extremely hard, and I don't slack in training, you know what I mean? I give it my all, and basically that's all you can ask from a man.
Right. So you talked about your style in the amateurs, and obviously you have a different style now in the pros. To explain that a little bit more in terms of what's the difference between the amateurs and the pros, because, for example, there's a lot of guys historically who have been solid amateurs, not great ones, like, for example, Mike Tyson. He lost to Henry Quick Tillis. Lost him a few times in the amateurs, but then in the pros, he beats Quick Tillis with relative ease. It was a difficult fight, but relative ease, he wins that. Because I hear that happen all the time. Lomachenko had to deal with that, just that adjustment between the pro style or the amateur style and the pro style. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, to be honest, I just think the amateur style is very, it's two different sports almost. You know what I mean? Like obviously when you're looking at it, if you're not educated, you don't really know the difference. But the amateur style is all about keeping and gathering them points and really moving away and stuff. Whereas the professional, you even get points for coming forward, even if you get pressure points for coming forward, even if you're not throwing punches. You know, it's scored in a totally different way. So I think it's all about the scoring system. I fought people who were better than me in the amateurs. For an example, I fought a fella called Declan Garrity who he won like 12 amateur titles, like senior level and junior. I only won two amateur titles, All Irelands, you know, and he was a amateur, really decorated amateur, you know, fought in the Europeans, the Worlds and so on. But when it comes to professional game, I beat him, you know. I beat him twice. I stopped him in the second, you know what I mean? So, it's two different sports. Like I said, you have to live the life. You can get away, I think, with not living the life as an amateur because it's only 3 trees. If you train hard, you can kind of get away with it, you know. But there's nowhere to hide in a 12-round fight.
Right. How do you prepare for a 12-round fight, especially with your style? I mean, because you constantly move forward, and also how do you get breaks, man? Because I know you get tired in that ring. How do you slip in a little break here and there?
I try not to slip in a little break here and there. Because if I'm slipping in breaks, then it's giving them breaks. You know what I mean? And like I said, I live the life. So for me, I take breaks when I need to. You know what I mean? But I'll be still pressuring them or still feinting, or I'll be making it look like I'm gonna throw or but I'm still in the pressure almost on them. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm throwing punches. So
Right.
for me, I prepare more mentally than anything for a 12-round fight. Like physical, everyone can get fit, everyone can do strength and conditioning, everyone can spar the same people, all this. I have 3 sparring partners usually when I'm doing a 12-round fight, and doing like 3-3-3 and jumping in and out. You know what I mean? So they're all kind of fresh, I suppose. And as I'm getting fatigued, they're getting like 6 minutes break or whatever, so they're jumping back in fresh. So I constantly getting in with fresh people, but other than that, basically, I train a lot on my mental strength. I believe that's a massive, massive thing in professional boxing. I'm a massive
I agree.
believer in a lot of attraction and everything you attract, you bring to yourself. So, like, for me, yeah, that game, I don't think anyone has it better than me, and I believe I had that over Farmer even. I had it over every single opponent that I faced. Farmer just was slick, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I never quit. I would never quit in a million years. I see some
Right.
fighters and they quit, and I don't know. It's just I'm not made like that. You know what I mean? I'm built different.
Right. Now you mentioned Farmar. Where would you rank him at in turn? Because you've had an extensive amateur career and now you're into your pro career. Where would you rank him at in terms of the best fighter you faced so far? Is that the best guy? Would you say?
He's probably the best guy I faced, but I think in the amateur, I actually faced one guy that was definitely better, for sure. He was just tough as nails. But at the same time, I boxed in, I think it was, it was an international tournament anyway. But it was only my second year boxing, second year boxing, and I just came against this Lithuanian, and he was just like a little Ivan Drago. Just came forward, throwing bombs, man. He was so strong, you know. It was crazy. He was definitely the best opponent I faced. I forget his name now, but I'm pretty sure he went to the Olympics. I think he won a gold as well. But
Right.
to be honest, I don't even watch boxing, so I'm not even mad into the sport. I just enjoy fighting. I enjoy the nervous energy that it gives me. Like, I'm not one to like shy away from nervous energy. Whatever makes me feel alive, then I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Like, I just love that adrenaline buzz. I love that excitement of fight week and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? I love that adrenaline buzz the fight game gives me. But I wouldn't be one of them fans that like sit there and watch boxing 24/7 or nothing like that. It's crazy. It's weird.
I don't blame you, man. I mean, I understand, man, because like I make music. I noticed the more I've made music over the years, the less rap music I listen to. I listen to every other genre at times more than rap itself. I don't know if it's just I don't necessarily want to take their style, or I'm just viewing everything from more of an analytical standpoint because you're an actual competitor. So there's no need for you to be a fan over something that you're involved in. But were you a fan of other fighters when you were coming up? Who were some of your favorite fighters when you were coming up?
Don't get me wrong, I was always like a fan of boxing when you're talking like the likes of Mayweather and like now like Lomachenko and like the big names. I was always like interested in like looking at Muhammad Ali, interested in looking at Tyson and all the massive names. Like I wouldn't watch people who are like say on my level. People are always saying, so this fella like in Europe or in England, he was like, he's your weight, man, he's really good. And I'm like, psh, man, I ain't focused on people who are my weight, like, or who are at my level. Like I don't care about that. I'm looking at like, I want to be looking at world champions and comparing myself to them and reaching for that kind of status, you know what I mean? Or reaching for what they've accomplished and so on. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at people who are better than me or more accomplished than me or whatever. Something I can kind of gain knowledge by watching. If I'm looking at someone who's kind of the same, it's like the same kind of boxer as me, like, and I'm not gaining knowledge by it, and it doesn't interest me. Like I actually, there's times where if I can't sleep at night, I'll just watch boxing. I go to sleep.
Right. So do you attend other fighters' fights?
Yeah, like if it's like someone out of the gym or something like that, you know what I mean? Or like a friend of mine, something like that. Or like if it's say that like that Lomachenko fight and Campbell the last time, like I was interested to go to that. Now I never ended up going, but I kind of wanted to, you know what I mean? Only because my fight was the week before, I was told, I'll leave it. But
Yeah.
so there's a lot of fighters who I'd love to see live, and that's kind of only the really, really big names. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not interested to go just see the average Joe. So, but obviously, if it's a friend, then I'm there because you have to support them, of course.
Right. So who's some guys you got on your radar right now? We're talking about big name fighters, world championship fighters. Who's some guys you thinking about you want to get in the ring with in the future?
I want to get in the ring, or I'm looking at because I like them.
Oh no, get in the ring. Get in the ring.
Get in the ring, like I'm looking at all the big names. Like I just basically want like the likes of Gervonta Davis, anyone that has a world title. Basically, I don't look at anyone else. And like to be honest, someone asked me who has the WBO or something like that the other day in my weight, and I was like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's mad. I'm just so like not. I don't focus on what other people are doing. I focus on my own goals and my own. I'm trying to be the best boxer I can possibly be. You know what I mean? And what like the thing is, them belts exchange hands so quick. Like, what's the point in focusing on one person? And then by the time I'm ready to get in there, or by the time, like I say, get that world ranking until I'm back in there again, it's like he might have lost the belt. You know what I mean? So I'm not really interested in all that. I just if my team say, listen, Jono, here's a fight for you, I then focus on that person. I go and I smash that person up, or we go to war, or whatever it may be, and we focus on the next thing. You know, like I'm not really one of them fighters who look at someone and say, I want to fight him and I want to fight him. I just want to fight the big names, because then I get a big payday, mate. That's what it's all about.
Hey, man, get that money, man. Get that money. I mean, so
I've done my apprenticeship at this stage. You know what I mean? I'm ready for the big names. Like even the Tevin Farmer fight, he's an amazing world champion, taking nothing away from him. But I didn't feel like I was out my depth one bit. Like literally not one bit. I just feel like my game plan could have been a little bit different. And then because we got the cut, I rushed it a little bit. I'm not taking that away from Tevin Farmer. He's an amazing fighter, obviously. But I didn't feel out my depth, not one bit.
Right. So when we're talking about, so like, what about that Farmer fight do you think you could have done better in terms of strategy?
There's a lot of things where I could have done better. I started off pretty good because my game plan was basically catch his jab. Like we weren't really worried about his jab because we know he just kind of slaps the jab out. He doesn't really bang with it too much. So we were just catching the jab. And when he commits with his backhand, that's when we were going to commit with him or come down to the bottom of the head and keep working up and down. I got the cut very early on. So the cut was very deep. So basically what happened was when I went back to the corner, the trainer said, right, we need to put the foot down a little bit and make sure we win these next 2 rounds. And it may have been a bit of immaturity on myself and my trainer's behalf. And we both have spoken about this and we both agreed on this because then I put the foot down, but then I went for a counter puncher. Like I put the pressure on the counter puncher, whereas it was supposed to be smart pressure. Stay on him, stay in range, keep him kind of where he's moving, let him walk around the ring, let him throw the jab. But when he commits, Farmer sometimes stands very square on. So it was perfect. And when he throws his backhand, his chin comes up a little bit. I caught him, like my hands were so sore after that fight, I caught him plenty of times in that fight. So my game plan was perfect. My game plan spot on. But when we got the cut, we then changed the game plan just a little bit, not much, but a little bit. And it worked as a disadvantage because then when I got told to go for him, I came forward too aggressive and he's a slick counter puncher. So he got his moments and he took them moments and he was able to counter punch me. We knew not to do that going in. So it was both me and the trainer spoke about that. I was like, oh, how did we fall over that shit? Like we should have just kept our calm, kept our composure. I think it would have been all good, you know what I mean? But we also knew that we either needed to knock him out or completely outwork him in his hometown. And, well, we didn't knock him out and we knew it wasn't going to happen after 5 or 6. So we said, let's just try outwork him now. And we just threw the kitchen sink at him, literally.
Right. Hey, yeah. I mean, so we're talking about like the home field advantage. We always hear that in the sport of boxing when we hear fighters be like, well, I'm in this guy's hometown and things like that. How much do you think that really plays a factor, man?
Do you know what? I don't necessarily think too much the hometown because I've only fought in my hometown in Dublin one time in my whole career. So that it doesn't bother me fighting away from my hometown, but The fact of the matter is, he was already the world champion. So you have to snatch the belt off the world champion. And a world title hasn't been a headline nail in Philly in how long? You know what I mean? And he was the first one to do it in a very long time. Also, he's been with Matchroom for so long. He kind of knew, basically, going in, that we were the underdogs. Even though I signed with Eddie for the 3-fight deal, but we were almost signed for them 3 fights so we could fight Tevin Farmer. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we knew we were put in there for him to get the victory. But this is boxing. I ain't doing boxing. So we knew we can outwork him. I knew I could outwork him. Because, like, nobody got hard like me and nobody got that stamina. So I knew I could go all night long. That's why I put the foot down and I never took the foot off, basically. So I knew I could go like that all night. And it was either take me out, mate, or I'm going to do this all night long. You know what I mean? And I just didn't think... I knew he couldn't take me out, even though he clipped me in the 11th, I think it was, and he burst my second eardrum, man. Oh, the whole ring was like this lopsided, because the ring, my equilibrium or whatever you call it, was just gone. Yeah. I was like, oh, shit. Great shot. Very good shot. But that was because I was just swinging everything, and that's when you get caught. When you're going for it, you know what I mean? It's when you're most vulnerable. And that's when he's most vulnerable, too. When he's throwing punches, that's when he's most vulnerable. And we knew that. But we basically knew going in, outwork him or knock him out. So it is what it is. We tried to outwork him. We did outwork him. Like, I thrown a lot more punches. I thrown like 300 or 400 or whatever more punches than he thrown. But at the same time, he was connecting with the cleaner punches. And in his hometown, he's going to get... We knew... Listen, when that fight finished, I knew we got the decision. I had plenty of people out. No, you should at least got a draw. You should have done this, should have done that. And I was like, listen, I knew when that fight ended, I lost the fight. For the simple fact that we're in his hometown. He's already the world champion. You have to snatch the belt off the world champion. So we knew all these things going in. You know what I mean? We knew it was against us. But I don't necessarily think that fighting in someone else's backyard is a disadvantage. Because the pressure's not on you also. So the pressure would have been on him a lot more than it was on me. Because I had everything to gain and nothing to lose. And a man in that position is dangerous, I suppose. Because with him having everything to lose and like, obviously, it's just a win and another moving on to gain. Like, if I had won that changed my whole life, you know what I mean? That changed my whole paydays, my whole everything. So for me, I had to take the opportunity. I had to give him my all, which I did. In fairness, you could never say I didn't give him my all. And that's, when I look back on my career and it's all said and done, that's what I want. I don't want to ever have a regret, you know what I mean?
Right. So do you fight for legacy? How do you want to be remembered?
And you know what? I fight because I enjoy fighting. I don't fight for legacy. I don't fight for other people. I fight because I enjoy the sport. You know what I mean? More than anything else. It's like people fight for money and fame, that bullshit. But for me, it gave me that adrenaline buzz that nothing else gave me after my mom passed. And that's why I kind of continued the sport. And I suppose, yeah, that's what I do. I do it because it makes me feel alive. It makes me feel like I have a purpose, I suppose.
Hey, I respect that, man. You know, I've always tell people, quit worrying about what other people are thinking about you. I asked that legacy question, man, just because I know a lot of people feel like they're fighting for it. But in terms of, like, that's how I live my life the same way. You can't do something based on the opinions of others. Those opinions, they change so often. You know, I always use this analogy all the time. The heavyweight boxer.
Yeah.
So when you think about Joe Louis, at a point in time, he was probably like the number one, maybe number two, maybe behind Babe Ruth in America, most famous athlete in America. And now, if you say Joe Louis to the average person on the street, that's no longer applicable.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You have to be doing things for yourself because that legacy is going to change. Time's going to make opinions going to make that legacy change.
1,000,000%. Like, you have to like to say Floyd Mayweather coming through and like, I'm the best ever and I'm this, that, and the other. Before him, there was other people before him, Sugar Ray Leonard, and that. Yep. And then now you're looking at Lomachenko. Like, there's always going to be someone amazing. And like Lomachenko, in my own opinion, he's had to take that to the next level. Just for the simple fact that his foot movement is, even though foot movement was unbelievable, but his angles, no one else gave angles the way Lomachenko's given that. Just like, the shit is like the Matrix, you know what I mean? Watching him. So I really, really enjoy watching him. So after him, I'm sure there's going to be someone else. So like, you cannot be the best person in the whole entire world, even though it's a great goal to shoot for. But you can be the best person you want to be, and you can be, and that's all I want to be. I don't care who does what next door to me, what the man down the road works at. You know what I mean? I genuinely don't care. All I'm trying to do is provide for my family, enjoy my life, and come out of this sport with money in my pocket, a house bought out straight, and a nice few investments. So I never have to worry about working again, and go home and spend good quality time with my family. And you know, like that's what's the most to me. But at the same time, I do it because I love it, because I love that adrenaline buzz. There's nothing better than that adrenaline buzz. And if you've never had a fight in your life before, you just will never know that adrenaline buzz. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Right. Well, hey, though, man, I think that's it for today. I'm appreciative, man, that you were able to come on here, man. And,
my pleasure, mate. Anytime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I definitely want to do it again, man. Definitely want to do it again.
For sure. I appreciate that, mate.
Next time you have a fight, I'm gonna keep up with you. Next time you have a fight coming up, one more time right before the fight, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll have one. I'll definitely have one before Christmas. So yeah, get on to me then. 100%, pal.
I got you, man. I appreciate it, man. Take it easy.
Bye, man.